Hello and welcome to Go for the Dough. This is PMQ's in-depth dough management and flour mixing series that showcases great products, on-target recipes, and versatile techniques. I'm Brian Hernandez, PMQ test chef and former pizzeria operator at Pizza X in Bloomington, Indiana. Folks, I've mixed my share of flour and made a plethora of dough balls in my over 12 years in the pizza business, and I gotta say today, we're working with a wonderful product. In demonstrating this popular flour and highly useful dough recipe from Bay State Milling Company, we'll be using their Bouncer Premium High Gluten Flour in a Univex planetary mixer, which is a mixer widely used in American pizzerias. And Bay State's Bouncer Premium is perfect for making some of this pizza-loving country's favorite pies, including New York style and thin crust pizza. Now, why is Bay State's Bouncer ideal for these pizza crust styles? Well, with its high mixing and fermentation tolerance, this flour yields a hearty dough that holds up as a crispy thin crust as well as a traditional or hand-tossed pie with great chew. And that's whether you top it with just cheese or you pile on that pepperoni. Bouncer also works fantastically for other numerous bread products. So let's get started, all right? I'm getting a little bit hungry here. We begin with a 50-pound bag of Bay State's Bouncer Premium High Gluten Flour. For this recipe, we're also going to need 27 pounds of water, about 72 degrees, 8 ounces of vegetable oil, 1 pound of salt, 8 ounces of sugar, and 4 ounces of active dry yeast. First, we're going to take 1 pound of the water at 105 degrees and pour in the yeast to start the activation process. Let that sit for about 10 minutes, waking the yeast up, so to speak. And while that yeast is activating, add the rest of the water into the mixer. After the yeast has woken up, add that to the mixer as well. Next, add the bag of flour, the salt, and the sugar. Then mix the dough for about 2 minutes until it starts to form a cohesive dough ball. After 2 minutes of mixing, add the 8 ounces of vegetable oil. And then mix that for about 8 more minutes. Now that the dough is ready, add the smallest amount of oil to the outer edge of the mixer and run it for a few more seconds. This will lubricate the outside of the dough and help you remove it with ease from the bowl. A big thank you to the dough Dr. Tom Lehman for this handy tip. Then let your dough bench rest for about 10 minutes. With the extra oil on the outside, it will help it from drying out. After 10 minutes, you can begin forming dough balls. Fill the dough tray and mark it with a date label. Allow the dough to proof for 12 to 24 hours. I recommend 24 hours to allow the gluten strands to completely form and give you a nicer crumb structure and a more flavorful crust after the pie is cooked. And there you have it. Bay State's Bouncer Premium High Gluten Flour mixed in a Univex planetary mixer results in these perfect dough balls. But the final test, of course, is how the finished product comes out. And huzzah, we have pizza. As you can see, we got a nice regular traditional pepperoni and a thin crust, sizzling, bubbling cheese pizza. And as you can see, we have a very nice crumb structure in the middle, nice and airy. And the pie holds its own weight even if it doesn't want to stay on top. And as you can see, this still has a nice fluffy structure, but it's strong enough to support the weight of the slice. So the only test left to do is to try it. It's very light and airy, but it's well cooked on the bottom, as you can tell. And it has a lot of crisp to it, and it's actually just a very hearty dough, as it says. Well, thank you for joining us today for our Go for the Dough demonstration. We'd like you guys to test this recipe out in your restaurants and let us know the results. We'd also like to thank our friends at Bay State for helping us demonstrate this flour's performance for everyone. You can find the recipe at doughdoctor.com or PizzaTV.com. I'm PMQ test chef Brian Hernandez, and I'll see you next time, but until then, keep on mixing.